This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
It is the After Party live on a Waterfall Wednesday, and my apologies for being a little late. We have the post-show Mark Thompson meeting, little inside baseball. We have a bunch of interviews that Mark has recorded with authors and various folks, and we're looking at which ones we would like to drop or publish when. So there's a couple coming out this weekend that are really interesting. And then we have some dates for the holidays that the show will be dark. And that includes Christmas Day and the day, I believe the day after. So the 25th and 26th, and then New Year's Day and the day after, the 1st and 2nd. But in lieu of the shows, some of these interviews will be dropping then. So a big conversation about which ones to put where that you might enjoy on Christmas or New Year's or what have you. So that's what we were talking about as I made my way from that show to this. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting this show. You know, I don't know, this time of year or YouTube or whatever is happening with the shows, this show averages about 65 cents an episode. You know, it's like, why? What are you doing? Why even bother, right? But I'm going to push through into 2026. And I thank everyone so much for helping keep this show going. Wes with another $5.65 today. And yesterday he did the same thing. So kind. Wes is warm. Thank you. You warm my heart. Kim N., Scott R., also recent contributors via PayPal. Thank you very much. If you're so inclined, the PayPal information is in the show description and in the About tab. And of course, the super chats and super stickers are always open here on YouTube. So many thanks for all the ways that you contribute, including sending stories. I have some festive stories. I've got some waterfalls, got some animals taking rides on planes, trains, and automobiles. Let's jump right into it since we're a little bit behind schedule. I do see that in the chat, you're talking about, it's going to big rain here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Absolutely. Sandy reminds everyone, please hit the like button. Thank you, Sandy, for reminding. I'm so sorry. I'm the worst YouTuber. I only talk about money once a show. I rarely say click like and subscribe. So Sandy, thank you for the reminder. You guys keeping me on the ball. No wonder the show, is languishing. Thank you. Everyone hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. So thank you so much. Saw that you guys were talking about KGO in the chat as well. Murphy said, started listening in 2003, the year I got married. Wow, a lot of people listened for a long time. People have contacted me and said, oh, the date isn't wrong in the description today? Oh, 12/1. Thank you. I'll fix it after the show. I appreciate it. A lot of people have contacted me to say they listen since childhood even. They can remember in the 60s and 70s listening to KGO. So a lot of history with that. It's called a heritage station. No longer, but a lot of history with that. Remember Jim Eason? Yep. Oh, I'll take languishing. I'll take a ding for that. Absolutely. Okay, off we go to, how about this one? This inflatable Santa. Yeah, it's a big Santa. Huge, as a matter of fact. Apparently, it's creating some issues, this big, giant Santa Claus, to the point where Colorado neighbors are fighting the HOA in this neighborhood because they want this inflatable Santa to stay through the holidays. It's 28 feet tall. I mean, so he's a biggin. The family that put up inflatable Santa, which is taller than their house, in Severance, Colorado, they said they saved up the money throughout the year to be able to buy this gigantic Santa. And people were driving by, they were taking pictures of the Santa with their kids. But that all came to a screeching halt when they got a letter from the HOA saying the decoration was in violation of the Homeowners Association policy. The letter did not include specific height regulations, but it did threaten fines if they didn't take Santa down right away. So the neighbors got involved. The family and the neighbors all started protesting this HOA order. Multiple people reaching out to the HOA, participating in social media campaigns. People were putting up inflatable Christmas holiday things of their own. The people say they didn't see what was offensive or wrong with Santa or these inflatables. And it looks like this neighborhood protest is successful because now the family has been given permission to return Santa to its place of honor at the entrance to Severance Shores. The HOA apologized and let the family know they can keep Santa, and it was a mistake on their behalf. Yep. Neighborhood protest successful. Here's a story that I thought was kind of cute. Yeah, and that's true. Jim's like, yeah, maybe if it was up all year, but fine for the holidays, right? Take it down before New Year's and you're good to go. Boo Grinchy, says Yvonne. Absolutely. I love this. I love this story so much. These little burrowing owls. See that owl on the railing right there? It's a pair of burrowing owls that managed to hop aboard a cruise ship on the Royal Caribbean International's Allure of the Seas. So they hopped aboard this cruise ship. It happened last February. And they went on a cruise to Spain. It was a long cruise, apparently, because they'll be returning to the United States next month. This is a really long cruise. Almost a year-long cruise, a transatlantic sailing to Spain. The owls get a free vacation. It left Florida, went across the Atlantic Ocean, and the owls had to spend a couple of months in quarantine because of this. And so now they'll be ready to head home in January. These burrowing owls were very comfortable aboard the Allure of the Seas. The vessel was docked in Miami, preparing to make this 2-week transatlantic crossing to Cartagena, Spain. And no one noticed these tiny owls until the ship was already underway. They took up residence in what's called Central Park, which is this large green open air neighborhood aboard the ship with more than 12,000 plants. And passengers were seeing these owls in the park as well as the miniature golf course. They were in the solarium. I mean, they were having some fun. Eventually, the owls were captured by crew members using nets. They kept them fed and hydrated for the rest of the cruise. One of the owls managed to escape, returning briefly to the Central Park area before they captured it again. The vessel docked in Spain, and the birds were transported about 30 miles north to a wildlife rescue center, and they've been there ever since. And now, wildlife officials in Florida are welcoming them home. They're traveling back to the United States on a plane. Their departure from Spain set for mid-January. The care and the flight being paid for by the Fish and Wildlife Foundation of Florida, which is a nonprofit. Once they touch down on U.S. soil, the owls will be taken to a wildlife facility in Florida, managed by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and eventually released back into the wild in an environment very similar to the one that they were used to in Miami before they became stowaways on this cruise ship. The foundation's director said these owls are having quite the adventure, and we're glad to help them safely get back home to burrow in Florida. So these birds are considered threatened in the state of Florida. They are not protected under the Federal Endangered Species Act. They live in these subterranean chambers in habitats including deserts and grasslands where they dig the burrows and or they can repurpose holes left by other creatures. And they hunt insects and rodents and stash away extra meals in their burrows when food is abundant. They're tiny. They're like 9 inches tall with slender, long legs and bright yellow eyes and brown plumage that helps them blend in. They did not blend in very well on the cruise ship, though. But set to be brought back home, all good for this pair of burrowing owls. Grab a friend, head onto the cruise ship, and have a great time. Here's this one. I have video for this next story. This is a story about another owl that hitched a ride. And in this case, it's a koala, a wild koala who ends up on a bus in Brisbane in Australia. Here it is. You can see this koala, wild koala, makes its way aboard this bus and finally, yeah, look at that. They have video of this koala aboard the bus. This koala was darting through traffic on a busy road. And eventually, it looked like it was in danger. So it was the bus driver that brought the animal aboard to wait for rescuers. The driver saw this koala in distress, got out, rescued the animal. The koala attempted to climb a metal light pole, and the driver was afraid that it would fall, and so covered its head with a jacket, brought it onto the bus, and then the videos shared by the rescue that was called out to then take possession of the koala showed this animal holding onto the pole inside the bus. They named this koala Perry, P-E-R-I. Rescuers took Perry to a wildlife hospital. He was checked out, deemed to be healthy, and relocated to a bushland reserve and returned off into the wild. So that is the story of Perry. I have another story about an animal stowaway. This one is about an animal that has been aboard a plane. They thought they got this animal that they captured, this massive rat. But apparently, this stowaway rat has now turned up again on a flight from, I believe it's the Netherlands to Aruba. And it's a big, big rat. Yeah, I have video of this. You have to see the size of this rat. I mean, if you're on a plane and this is crawling above you, no. Check this out. I mean, that's a rat, right? Yeah. No. So that's quite the rat. Let's see if I can. Yeah. I don't know. Very big rat stows away on this plane. It's on this flight from the Netherlands to Aruba on a KLM flight that departed from Amsterdam, and the pilot had no choice but to continue in a forward progression. They say it was too late to make an emergency stop. The jet was already over the ocean when the rat was spotted. The flight had been intended to stop at Aruba before continuing to the Caribbean island of Bonaire and returning to Amsterdam, but the plane was grounded once it arrived in Aruba. The airline says this was a very exceptional incident. The safety and well-being of our passengers and crew are the top priority, so we canceled the flight from Aruba via Bonaire so the aircraft could be thoroughly cleaned before being put back into service. I mean, I'm not going to ruin a vacation over it. I guess they've got to ground the plane to get the rat off of the plane. But if I'm a passenger that was supposed to be headed for Bonaire, I'm thinking, it's not the top of my list to travel with a giant rat. But on the other hand, let's go, right? The airline had to find overnight accommodations for the passengers, work to find alternate flights the next day as well. They don't know how the rat got on the plane. Did it come in from the airport? Did someone carry it aboard? They have no idea. It was discovered over the ocean. Very unfortunate for the passengers, they said, who had to experience this giant rat rolling around there aboard the KLM flight. Here it is again. You can see him. He's just hanging out, running around. I mean, if you see this, are you freaking out, or are you just like, yep, there's a rat? I think I'd rather a rat than a snake, snake on a plane, rat on a plane. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big of a deal it is. Definitely not what you want to see. Okay, I'm going to the chat. They do like to chew through wires, says Jim. Yeah, that's a problem. Get me to that island, says Yvonne, right? Rat or no rat? That's what I'm thinking. Rats can be messy, says Gordon. Oh, Karen with a good point. When there's one, there's a whole family somewhere. Exactly right. Uh-huh. Wes says, when we lived in San Francisco, we were watching one night with both dogs on the couch and heard the dog door flap. It was a rat that learned how to come through the dog door. It was as big as a small cat. Oh, no. Oh, no, you don't want a rat coming through the dog door. That's the problem with dog doors, right? You never know what's coming in. Absolutely. Gordon says, yeah, I would have continued flying. Soon to be a Disney Pixar movie, Rat on a Plane. Rats like to travel via airplane. So, Kim, stop while you're ahead. A stowaway rat. So we had a rat on a plane, a koala on a bus, and owls on a cruise ship. Okay. Yeah, pretty funny. Too many people are afraid of rats for illogical reasons. Maybe you're right, but then you see one, and my immediate response is to yelp and pull my feet up off the floor. Yeah. And again, you're right. Where there's one, there's always more. So, all right, we're moving forward. How about this story? After 9/11, the attacks on America, we stopped being able to walk our relatives to the gate. We stopped being able to go past security in the airport where all the businesses are, the restaurants, all of those things, right? Now, at the Oakland International Airport, kind of making a move to allow people that are not ticketed to go into the airport once again. There are about 30 shops and restaurants right now that are only available to people who are traveling. But, the airport isn't just for travelers, right? What? Would you go to the airport to pay exorbitant prices? Maybe if you were meeting someone and you wanted to have a, dinner at a cool restaurant at the airport or something. Usually, I try to get in and out of the airport as quickly as possible. But they say, hey, at the Oakland International Airport, there are so many shops and restaurants. It's kind of like a little shopping center in there. And so they're now going to allow Bay Area residents and visitors to spend a day hanging out at the airport without a ticket. It's a guest pass program that they're launching. The first time non-passengers are allowed beyond security checkpoints at the airport since September 11th. Oakland International overhauling concessions, investing in terminal expansions over the last few years. They've got the Bonjour Bakehouse, the Oaklandish Coffee Collective, Vietnamese eatery Tay Ho Oakland. This according to SF Gate. And so they want to open those things up to more than just the people with airline tickets. They say they are thrilled to launch this program to complement the new concessions available to guests that have launched under the refreshed program they have at the airport. And many members of the community have expressed the desire to experience the new additions, and now they'll be able to enjoy them even if they don't have a flight. There's been a drop in the number of passengers at Oakland. So they need to get people in there to partake of these businesses if they want the businesses to stay. According to SF Gate, between January and the end of September of this year, 7 million passengers traveled through Oakland International. Sounds like a lot, but it's a 16% drop from the same period last year and a 31% decline from the first 9 months of 2019 before the pandemic. So you can buy or you can get a guest pass for up to 7 days in advance. You have to apply for it online, use personal information from a real ID document that has to be approved by the TSA. They say that minors can apply for the program, but have to be accompanied by an adult. And if you're approved to come in and shop at Oakland International, you get an email after midnight on the day of your scheduled visit. You've got to bring a copy of your guest pass via email and your TSA ID, and they'll let you in. So they won't let you in through the international terminal, but they will let you in at another checkpoint. Then you can exit the airport and re-enter the same day using the same guest pass. So it does have some in and out privileges there. You do have to go through a security screening, but you can get in and shop around and eat, which, it's kind of cool because say you had someone that was there for a layover, like a family member you hadn't seen, and they had a flight scheduled to depart in an hour, hour and a half, you could still make your way in, have dinner, lunch, hang out, whatever with your person, and they go on their flight and you leave the airport. So, it's good to have the option, and it seems like they're doing it the right way. So that's going on at Oakland International. This one is for the gamers among us. It's not me. I'm not a gamer. I like to play Words with Friends, and that's about it. But this lady, you see her up in the top right corner? She's 92 years old. She's a grandma, and she won this Tekken 8 tournament in Japan. Just wow. She was named the winner of an esports tournament. The CARE Esports Association specializes in video game tournaments for senior citizens, and they announced their 12th biannual tournament. Hisako Sakai, 92 years old, takes the top spot in Tekken 8. The tournament featured 8 senior citizens ranging in age from 73 to 95. They took part in this virtual game. It was a Tekken 8 matchup. 92-year-old Sakai defeated 74-year-old Goro Sugiyama in the finals to take the top spot. The whole thing live streamed on YouTube with live commentary. That's kind of cool. There's no age limit for video games, right? I saw this. Should we do the lotto of the day? Here's the lotto of the day. They look happy. This is a British couple who has won their second lottery prize, over $1 million. Speaking of which, today is the drawing for $1.25 billion Powerball jackpot. This British couple wins $1,337,925 from the National Lottery 7 years after they won the same amount from Euro Millions millionaire maker. They're from Wales, Richard and Faye, and they matched 5 numbers in the bonus ball, and they walk away with another $1 million. The prize, they said, the result of 4 consecutive lotto drawings that brought them luck. When you match 2 numbers in the lotto draw, you automatically win a lucky dip for the next game. And they said that is what happened to them. We matched 2 numbers and won a free lucky dip for the draw November 15th, which put us in the next draw, and so on until the winning draw Wednesday, the 26th of November. So they got a few lucky dips and they won another $1 million. The odds of it happening again, they say, were so outrageous, but we are proof if you believe anything is possible. So they're still trying to decide what they're going to do with their winnings. They said the first time they won $1 million, they gifted people cars, donated a minibus to the local rugby team, and did their best to help friends and family. It was all new and amazing to be able to make a difference. This time they said, who knows? We're going to take our time and we're going to enjoy the moment. Good for them. I don't know if we have any gardeners in the crew here. A lot of bending and being on your knees when you're planting flowers and weeding and doing all these things. There's a new study that shows that gardening is actually linked to a lowered risk of knee arthritis. This yard work may have hidden benefits for older folks. In the journal Clinical Rheumatology, a study is published done by the folks at Baylor College of Medicine in Houston that shows seniors who garden are less likely to suffer from knee arthritis. They were less likely to have X-ray evidence of disease, knee pain, or both. Apparently, we all need to get out there and start gardening. The researchers at Baylor tracked knee health of more than 2,600 people with an average age range of 64. And the participants were asked about the amount of gardening or yard work they performed during different times in their lives. They compared the responses to signs of arthritis and knee pain in the respondents. Researchers say gardening is an activity that people are more likely to participate in as they get older, and that age is a strong risk factor for osteoarthritis. Because of this, it's important to understand if gardening is harmful or beneficial for knee health so we can know how to advise people. But the results showed that as people got older, they were more likely to garden. Those who picked up gardening between 19 and 34 were likely to continue it as they aged. It's an activity with some longevity. Researchers found people who gardened had a 29% lower risk of frequent knee pain, 25 to 29% lower risk of knee arthritis. The study, they said, wasn't designed to identify why gardening yard work might show a beneficial relationship with knee arthritis. They say there have been other studies that prove gardening or yard work promotes health in other dimensions as well. Better control of anxiety, depressive symptoms, mood, good for socialization. And since there have been clinical trials that have shown antidepressive medications are helpful in reducing pain and osteoarthritis, it could be possible that gardening or yard work is beneficial in that way. They say, of course, as always, further studies are needed to test if it's a possibility. They do say it's an observational study as well. So, but interesting, because you would think that bending your knees would, cause more wear and tear on the knees and would increase pain and what have you. But it's the old adage, if you don't use it, you lose it. And you definitely use it when you're out gardening, right? So maybe there's something with that. Luis, my lottery savior, says, get yourself a couple of Powerball tickets. If you win the billion, let's keep this after party going forever. Absolutely. Prizes, and Trivia Thursday will have big prizes if I win the 1.2 billion. Right? I mean, think of all the things we could do with $1.2 billion on the after party. Thanks for the 5, Luis. I'll definitely throw it into my lottery fund. Oh, have I mentioned my mom's garden? My mom is a big gardener. People stop in front of her house and just look at her yard. It's really pretty. Really, really pretty. The only thing I don't like about her yard is she has the fake grass. I'm not a fan of fake grass. I know it's easier to take care of and what have you, but she has flowers and bushes and trees and a little walkway, and there's always flowers, and it's colorful and beautiful. The backyard is amazing. I mean, it's winter, so things are kind of dormant a little, but it's still lit up for the holidays, so it looks pretty. Thanks for asking, Yvonne. Thank you for asking, Yvonne. Really nice. And she's doing okay as well. I have this story about the word of the year. There was another one from a different dictionary company, but this is the Merriam-Webster's word of the year. It's slop, S-L-O-P. Slop refers to the AI-generated junk that fills social media feeds, describing the onslaught of digital content of low quality produced usually in quantity by means of artificial intelligence. The word is slop. So that's the Merriam-Webster's word of the year for 2025, which I think is appropriate. Okay, before we get to waterfalls, I did want to I know I've saved the serious story for last. This is a report from the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration. They put out their Arctic report. And sadly, it shows that winter is going to have to be redefined. This is a annual report, the Arctic report card, and they say it paints a pretty grim picture for this region. The whole concept of winter needs to be redefined because of this environmental breakdown. So NOAA reports that from October of 2024 to September of this year, the Arctic experienced its hottest year in 125 years, and it marked the 10th straight year of record warmth. Changing landscapes in the Arctic. They say sustained observations and strong research partnerships, including those led by communities and indigenous organizations, are essential for understanding and adapting. Ongoing glacier loss, contributing to steadily rising global sea levels, threatening Arctic communities, water supplies, driving floods and increasing landslide and tsunami hazards that are endangering people, infrastructure, and coasts as well. The ongoing global fossil fuel emissions, according to this report, have been causing the Arctic to warm 4 times faster than the rest of the planet, which is disrupting the Earth's natural climate regulator. This Arctic report card for 2025 showed sea ice reached its lowest maximum in 47 years of satellite data, which continues a decline that has wiped out so far more than 95% of the oldest, thickest ice in the Arctic as the temperatures warm and more rain pours. Across northern Alaska's Brooks Range, warming temperatures have thawed ancient soils and released iron into rivers and streams, turning water red-orange. It's a sign of rapid Arctic climate change. Greenland shed 129 billion tons this year, threatening coastal cities for generations. They say the melting ice doesn't raise sea levels, but a loss of land ice does. And as that sea ice disappears, dark ocean water absorbs more heat and accelerates global warming. And they say the coastal cities aren't ready for the rising sea levels. They have completely changed the fisheries in the Arctic, which leads to rising food bills for seafood. And we know here in the US, climate research funding has been cut. An Arctic expert saying the whole concept of winter is being redefined in the Arctic, and 2025 is underscoring what is to come. It was the warmest year on record, with the most precipitation on record, and to see both of those things happen in one year is remarkable, according to the Arctic Report's editor, an Arctic scientist with the National Snow and Ice Data Center at the University of Colorado. His name is Matthew Langdon Druckenmiller. So that's the Arctic report card, and it's not looking good. With that, let's take a collective deep breath and let's go to Sarah Kendzior country. You know, her big sale is today. Find her on Substack, sarahkendzior.com. Her book, which is, I want to say, look, she has so many books. They Knew, right, is a really good one. the one from today that's on sale today is called The Last American Road Trip. I bought the physical version for Nikki Maduro when she went on her road trip, and my sister over the summer who went on a road trip. But now you can get it for $2.99. Sarah Kendzior, Kendzior on Substack. If you are interested, it would make a great gift for anyone on your list, except maybe someone in Magaville. You don't want to give it to them. But the fact that her book went on sale today for $2.99 on online platforms made me think, why don't we go to Missouri and take a look at the waterfalls in Missouri? Because I don't think we've done that yet. So I'm going to take away the Arctic and I'm going to bring up the waterfalls in Missouri. These are 14 of the most amazing waterfalls in Missouri, and they're really, really beautiful. You can see the water splashing down right there. And Sarah's a really big hiker, loves to go out hiking, and I'm sure that she's seen most of these. So I thought we'd take a look and see what it looks like in the middle of our country, the heartland of America. What you're looking at on the screen is Minnesock Falls. It is on the Tomsock Ozark Trail in Missouri, 35-mile-long trail in the St. Francois Mountains. It's a beautiful waterfall. Winds you through some beautiful country. And there it is. The second one is called the City Garden Falls, and this one clearly man-made. So I'm surprised it's number 2 on the list. But there it is. That's a peaceful place to just hang out. Look at what's going on over there. City Garden Falls, man-made, located in St. Louis, Missouri. It's part of a sculpture park downtown. The gardens and the fountains are other features of the park. There's a pathway with 24 different sculptures. The waterfall constructed near the children's area, combined with a 180-foot pool. It's 6 feet high, a charming, peaceful place for visitors, and a flat path to walk around as well. This one is beautiful. This is called Cotton Rock Falls. Cotton Rocks Fall. Look at that. That's gorgeous. Cotton Rocks Fall, close to Branson, Missouri, where you can check out the town, or nearby, take the 2.3-mile trail through town up Rourke Valley Road and head past a resort, and then you go up some bluffs and you arrive at the falls. It has a circulating pump installed to keep the water flow constant even during dry season, so it's always there. Cotton Rocks Fall in Branson, Missouri, or near. Marble Creek Falls, another good one. The creek is 20 miles long. There's camping. The trail connects to the Tomsock, the first one that we saw. Big waterfall there. And this one is called Waterfall Park. Check this one out. Back out so you can see the whole thing. That's pretty special. Waterfall Park. Look at that. It's pretty high. I'll back out, way out. You can see the whole thing. Uh-oh. It's gone. Oh, no. Oh, that's a bummer. I'll have to reconfigure myself. I'm sorry. So this is Waterfall Park. Let me share it again with you so you can see. Sorry, I tried to get too tricky with my scrolling out there. Look what good it did me. Here it is. It's pretty beautiful. The Waterfall Park is located in Independence, Missouri. It is over 10 feet high, with rocks stacked by people to create this feature. The water comes down over a little bridge that allows the majority of the water to flow underneath. It was designed by locals who wanted to enjoy a green space. It's got walking trails and picnic areas. It's got a playground. Waterfall Park. the trail is easy. It's mostly flat, and the waterfall feature makes for some really good pictures as well. So that's Waterfall Park. The next one is called Dogwood Canyon Falls. Oh, look at that one. Dogwood Canyon Falls. That's beautiful. We'll take it. And I managed to keep the picture up, so I'm pretty proud of myself. This is an admission. There is a park admission fee required to see this one. You can bring your dog, though, hiking in this park. You've got to purchase a walking pass to get to the 6.5 miles of walking trails. They use the fees to maintain and upkeep the area. Dogwood Canyon Falls is in Dogwood Canyon Park. Here's one, Big Piney Falls. This is number 7 on the list. Look at that one. Big Piney in Missouri. It's at the Big Piney Falls State Natural Area. There is an upper and a lower cascade, pretty short for each of these waterfalls. The elevation gain 383 feet. It's a 2-mile-long loop-style hike. You can reach this waterfall from either Missouri or Tennessee. It's closer to Grandview, Tennessee, but it's worth the hike, they say, across the state line to see this waterfall. Big Piney Falls. Number 8 on the list is called Rocky Waterfall. And when I show you the picture, you'll understand why. Yes, it is a rocky waterfall, as a matter of fact. Hold on, there it is. I center it. I don't know why I'm having problems. There it is. Rocky Falls has a long history. It is in the Ozarks. The reddish brown rock is called rhyolite porphyry, and it stains the water as an interesting color. But also, it allows this area to be dated back to 1.5 billion years ago. They say the rock erosion, pardon me, has brought the soil and old lava to the surface here. The stream has a quick flow, which most people might consider a river, but it's actually known as a creek to the local people here. Rain makes the water even more rapid and magnificent. There's a little pool that forms at the bottom of this gently sloping waterfall. That is Rock Falls. This is another one, another man-made Missouri waterfall. It's called Forest Park Falls. You know what I love? That people in Missouri enjoy waterfalls so much that they make them all over the place. Pardon me, tea break. And they make a really good one. Tea, not pee, tea. Rock Falls. This is Forest Park Falls, rather. It's in Forest Park. It's a man-made area near St. Louis, the Missouri Children's Hospital, and the Art Museum. The Forest Park, an historic place. The river runs right through it. There are hiking trails. There's a pagoda circle. The falls were built in 1937, and they were meant to mimic the World's Fair Cascades that were once on Art Hill. But it's really beautiful. There's landscaping. There's a pool beneath it. Gorgeous. The next one is called Hickory Canyons. Here's a picture of Hickory Canyons. It's very picturesque. Look at that. It's got trees and kind of a rocky cliff. Hickory Canyons is in the Hickory Canyons Natural Area Trail. At its most beautiful after rain. It's a half-mile track hike to arrive at this waterfall. You get to a few rocky bluffs, and the rock cliff is in a step cycle, which keeps the cascades from being a direct plunge. So it's got one step and then a second step. The 11th on the list is called Merrimack Falls. This one looks like it's rushing. Look at that water. Merrimack. Not super high, but pretty cool to stand on that bridge over the waterfall and check it out. It is in Merrimack State Park along the Merrimack River. The flow of the river helps it go over the bluffs to the pools beneath. This state park also has caves and verdant forest land, making it a great place for a day-long visit. There are 13 miles of hiking trails, ranging from easy to moderate, swimming, fishing, rafting, boating activities. Merrimack Spring is the 5th largest in the state. It is close to St. James. The 12th is Grand Falls. Here's a look at it. Kind of looks more like a dam almost. That's Grand Falls. This is near Joplin, Missouri. It is a natural dam that helps the water slow down over a smooth surface before it returns to rockier terrain and then falls down again at a shorter outcrop of limestone. The wide expanse creates an interesting flow with swirling pools of water. You can see the first drop and then the second drop in the distance there. This is called Hodgson Mill Waterfall. Look at this one, the Hodgson Mill Waterfall. The Hodgson Mill Waterfall is part of the old Hodgson Mill in Dora, Missouri. The waterfall is a natural element that helped the sawmill transport the milled wood down the creek. The waterfall, though, less than 5 feet high, but a smooth rock surface keeps it flowing smoothly. Easy to get to. There's a little parking area. Then you can walk over and check out the waterfall. They say it's a great photo opportunity with the mill right behind. It is very picturesque. There's a natural pool that is at the top of the falls in this case. You can see it there. And then it flows into the rockier surface below, churning up a little water spray. So there you go. We have 14 amazing waterfalls in Missouri: Minnesook, City Garden, Cotton Rocks, Marble Creek, Waterfall Park, Dogwood Canyon, Big Piney Falls, Rocky Waterfall, Forest Park Falls, Hickory Canyons, Merrimack, Grand Falls, and the Hodgson Mill Waterfall. So there you go. And that, my friends, is Waterfall Wednesday. I don't know if I ever showed this at the beginning. The second time I've done that. Waterfall Wednesday. Hope it was a little bit relaxing. Huge thank you again to Luis, who says with $5, special request, can I get a live ukulele performance from Jacob on my birthday, 12/31? Thought it would be an awesome start to my New Year's Eve birthday. I say yes. I will ask him if he will do that. And I'm sure he would love to do it. Luis, thank you for that. That's the 31st. Happy birthday month, by the way. I will make a note of it and we'll get Jacob in here because it will be on school break and he will be able to play the uke live for you. Let me know if you have any song requests that you would like him to learn, or if you just would like him to sing happy birthday. But if you have any requests for him, please email them to me, kim@theafterparty.live. And I'll tell him he needs to start practicing. Huge thank you to Beam Me Up Scotty with a 5. Hi, Kim. I'm happy to support the show. Grateful you keep it going. Happy non-denominational event. Thank you so much. Thank you, Beam Me Up Scotty. I appreciate the contribution to the After Party Live and the great message. And thank you for enjoying the show. I'm so glad. Nullifidian throwing in 5. Nullifidian, thank you. And thank you for all your great comments in the chat. And then Luis with another 5 saying, get yourself a couple of Powerball tickets. If you win the billion, let's keep this after party going forever. Absolutely. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate that. So yeah, the drawing is tonight. Got to go out and get those tickets, right? Does anybody feel lucky? You gotta have that feeling of you're gonna win it? I don't know. People, we do a lot of lottery stories on this show, and people say they somehow feel it coming. They just knew they were gonna win somehow, right? Yeah. All right. That is the After Party Live on a Waterfall Wednesday. Thank you for being here and for all the ways you participate in this show. You guys are amazing and awesome. And I will see you tomorrow on the Mark Thompson Show. David Katz will be with us, which I love David Katz. And then we'll have Trivia Thursday. No prizes yet, unless I win. And then you never know. And then it's the Nikki Maduro show tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific here on YouTube. Hilo Karen with 20 says, you and the After Party Live are highly valued. Keep on keeping on. Thank you, Hilo Karen. I heard they're changing the name of the Big Island of Hawaii. They're getting rid of the Big Island of, and it will just be Hawaii. I think that might be confusing for people, but not that it hasn't been confusing in the past. But that's what I heard is going on in your neck of the woods. Thank you so much for the 20 and for the nice words. Much appreciated. Yeah, David Katz, says Mindy. Absolutely. So thank you so much. All right. I will see you guys tomorrow right back here on YouTube. Until then, bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.
That might be a little too long, Phineas. Maybe we'll see if he can play the first couple of notes.